and welcome to the Trinity High School Music Department podcast. On today's episode, we have got fifth-year pupil Mirin Arnott. How are you doing, Mirin?
Yeah, I'm fine. How are you?
Good, very good. Plodding away. Everything's going well so far. Busy term for us teachers and you guys as well, but things are all under control. Music prelim has been completed for National 5 and higher, and people have got their marks back now, and it's the final push to the real exam, basically. So all going well. What about you? How's your prelims been?
Pretty good, yeah.
Good, decent, happy with your results?
Mostly, yeah.
Relatively happy. Are you doing 5 hires this year?
Yes.
Good. So are you finding that quite a lot to manage, or are you getting on okay?
It's all right, but it's like difficult when you've got like the prelims when there were so many like back to back.
Yeah.
It's difficult to find the time to study equally for them all.
Of course, aye. What subjects are you doing? I know you're obviously doing music, but what else?
Music, maths, English, history, and GraphCom.
Right, so it's a good mix, to be fair. At least you're getting different types of subjects.
Because music and GraphCom are quite like chilled out.
Yeah, and creative type things.
For sure.
Good. Have you got any ideas for what you want to do when you leave school? Have you thought that far ahead yet?
Yeah, I think I might want to go into musical theatre.
Good.
Or English literature.
Good.
Maybe.
I'm sure you'd be great at both. Is that from like doing the school show that's kind of inspired you to do that?
I've been doing dancing since like I was 2, so
really?
I've always been interested in that. But it was like mainly because of the school show that I've got into like the theatre part of it, like the acting and stuff. So
do you dance for like the team and stuff like that, or?
I don't do competitions. It's just a club because I don't want to take it too seriously. It's just for fun.
Good for you. Excellent. Well, obviously once you get this year finished and you get your exams out the way, then when you look ahead to next year, you can pick what you want to do.
Yeah.
Great. So what's going to happen on this episode, as was the case with the previous people, Mirin is going to talk through her favourite 3 songs of all time. Anybody that knows Mirin will know that she's really into music, very knowledgeable and clued up on it. And hopefully people will get a wee bit of inspiration from the songs that Mirin likes. So what 3 songs are you going to talk about today?
I'm going to talk about Where Is My Mind by Pixies, Lady Stardust by David Bowie, and Complete Control by The Clash.
Very good. Nice one. So what one are you going to start with then?
Where Is My Mind?
Where Is My Mind? Fantastic. So Where Is My Mind by the Pixies, released in 1988 on their debut album. Did you know that? No. I mean, obviously, I cheated and just Googled it. But yeah, it's quite amazing. 1988, a long time ago. And one of probably the most famous singles, I'd imagine. Do you remember when you first heard this song or how that came about?
It wasn't that long ago. It was actually when I was first getting in, I first got my guitar.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So what year would this be, like, roughly?
Like 2021, maybe.
So, fourth year?
Yeah.
Or fourth year?
Fourth year, yeah.
Good.
It wasn't that long ago. But, I was just looking into, simple kind of, introductory songs for guitar.
Yeah.
And it was, the first proper one, I learned how to play.
All right. So did you search for, a YouTube demo of it? Or, how did you get... Was it Ultimate Guitar that you got the tab for? Or how did it work that you, learned the song?
It was on Songster.
Oh, Songster? Right.
Yeah,
All right, okay. And has that got loads of guitar tabs for different songs?
Yeah, loads of them.
So was it the wee riff part that you learned how to play? Can you still play it?
Yeah.
Oh, very good. So did you just did you know that song before you tried it?
I'd heard it.
Yeah.
And I was it seems easy enough. And I know the song fairly well.
Yeah.
But learning it just made me appreciate it a lot more. I really like it now.
Yeah, it's a beautiful song, really famous. Is there anything else you like about the song? Is it lyrics as well, or mainly just that wee guitar riff?
I like the build up, between the verses and the choruses. There's parts of it where it just all kind of comes crashing down. It's really good. I like that a lot.
I think that's what Pixies are quite famous for. Actually, they've got quite a lot of contrast within their songs. So they go from quite a big, heavy section, and they drop out, and it sort of fluctuates.
Yeah.
And that obviously creates quite a nice feeling to it.
What's
some interesting facts about this? I don't know if you knew this, right? So the guy that wrote the song, who's the front man of Pixies, right? He was inspired. He was snorkeling. Do you know what that means? You go snorkeling.
Yeah, it's swimming.
Yeah. So apparently he was being chased by a small fish, and that's what inspired him to write this song. Very interesting fact there.
Small fish, not even a big fish.
Yeah, exactly. It's a wee small fish. So that's what inspired him to go home and write the song. And this song is one of it's considered, Rolling Stone magazine. Have you heard of it? They do they're quite famous in top 10 greatest guitarists.
Yeah.
So in the top, it was listed in the top 500 greatest songs of all time at song number 493.
When was that?
So that was 2021 actually.
Oh,
so
that's quite recently.
so every year they kind of reissue this magazine, and they do like a revised version. It's like music journalists that come up with all this, and these listed it as number 493. So it's very good. Is there any other Pixies songs that you like, or is it mainly just this one?
Not particularly. No, it's mainly just this one.
Yeah, I think it's had a bit. Is it not quite big on TikTok?
Yeah.
Yeah, is that where?
Really big on TikTok.
Yeah, I've heard people like play the piano part in
It was
class
actually,
and stuff like that.
it was got popular on TikTok, and I was like, I'm gonna avoid this song because it's on TikTok.
Yeah.
I don't want to like it just because it's on TikTok.
Yeah.
But I learned it and I really like it. So.
Because it's also in Criminal Minds. Have you seen that before?
No.
It's like a TV show.
I do need to watch it because I've just been watching it, and
I
I
imagine
feel
you'd
left
quite
out,
like it.
and I need
Yeah.
to watch it.
But yeah, so it's quite a famous song in popular culture as well.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Do you know why it's big on TikTok? Like, what is it about it?
I don't know. It might be the build-ups and the drops. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I don't get it, but
Like, people in class all the time can play it. When's the last time you actually played that song on the guitar?
maybe I've played it in music today. When I
Did
was
you
on the
really?
drum, yeah.
So you just went through and just is it the first thing you play when you pick up a guitar?
Yeah.
Quite often.
Yeah.
Very good.
There's like some like easy stuff to play, and that's one of
Could
them.
you sing it as well? Like, would you know how to?
I don't know the words.
Aye, that might be one to go and try and see if you could. Then talent show next year.
Maybe, yeah.
On 6th year, if there's another, it was a summer concert this year for you when you're in 5th year. You could always play it with a band. You could get a wee band together and you could perform it on stage. Yeah, well, you don't sound that keen, but it would be a decent idea maybe.
Yeah.
Have you got any like memories attached to the song? Or is it more just like the first time you played the guitar type thing?
Yeah, but like there's also like times I'm just out with my friends and one of us will take like a speaker or something.
Yeah.
Like during summer and stuff.
Yeah.
And we would just be out and it would be like on in the background. It's just like good memories associated with it.
So is quite a lot of your friendship group based on music then? Or like, is that a lot of not why you're friends, but like, is there a lot of kind of sharing of songs you listen to and spending time listening to music and all that?
Yeah, a lot. Well, me and my pals go to loads of concerts.
Yeah.
Like, that's all we do is like, yeah, I've got a concert next week. Like,
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
so
2 weeks. 12 days? 12 days.
Who are you going to see?
Cave Town.
Oh, right, very good, fantastic. I think there's actually other people that are going to see that are
probably.
in
There's
different years in
loads
this school.
I know so many people that are going.
Wow.
There's a group of like 7 of me and my pals going.
Really? All going to go and see this? And they're quite, they're not that mainstream either, are they? Like
Not really, no. They're doing 2 nights in the Badlands though.
Oh, wow.
They
Good.
came in 2021, I think, and I went, and that was Neil 2.
Yeah, yeah.
And this time they're doing the Badlands, which I was like kind of confused because it's smaller.
Yeah.
But they're doing 2 nights.
Second night. Have you been to the Badlands before?
I love
It's
the
really cool.
Badlands.
Yeah. It's quite famous for like something to do with the dance floor in the Badlands.
Yeah,
It's, like
bouncy.
particularly bouncy, so that it's really good venue to go and see music
I
in.
like the Badlands.
Very good. That's fantastic. So, if is there anything else you want to talk about with that song? Is it just one of those ones that you just?
No, it's just one of those ones I like listening to. I just stick it on whenever.
Yeah. It's also a good song for people that aren't really that into music. Like everybody.
It's
would like
easy
it.
to listen
It's
to.
easy to listen to, and it's just one to go and stick on. Like most of you would recognise it if you listen to it, and then add it to your playlist. 'Cause it's a great song.
Yes, out of the ones I have picked, it's definitely the easiest to listen to, I'd say.
Yeah, it's very
For
like
sure.
listenable. Like you don't need to sit and like try hard to like it. Sometimes you have to do that with songs. Like
yeah.
there's also artists that maybe like people tell you, oh, you need to go and listen to them. Like say someone like Radiohead, for example. Have you heard of Radiohead?
I love Radiohead.
Yeah.
I was going to pick a Radiohead song, but I decided against
I
it.
can imagine this was hard for you to narrow it down to 3 songs.
It was really difficult.
Aye, but maybe Radiohead might be more of an example of like you need to sit with not a pen and a paper, but sit and actually appreciate it. But Pixies is something you could listen to on the bus home from school type scenario. Definitely this song.
Somebody playing it on the piano right now.
Quite possibly. I don't know if the microphone will pick this up.
I don't know. That's
That
so
definitely
odd.
is it as well.
That is so
Yeah,
odd.
That person that's playing that, by the way, that happens almost every day after
That's
school.
really
that song.
funny.
What are the chances of that?
That's so funny.
Just for people that don't know what's going on, someone in one of the music rooms next door is playing the song that Mirin has chosen purely coincidentally as her greatest song, one of her greatest songs of all time. That's unbelievable.
Really odd. That's
We'll try and get
so
them live on the
strange.
podcast
aye.
at some point. Re-record you and then we'll overdub them in.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable timing.
That is
maybe
so
maybe she can
strange.
hear us through the wall.
Maybe.
Anyway, let's move it on to the next one. So are we going for the David Bowie one? Or are we going for... Good, so just remind everybody, what's your David Bowie song?
Lady Stardust.
Fantastic.
From the Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust.
Very good, aye. Is that when he was going through... Ziggy Stardust is kind of like a persona, isn't it, for David Bowie?
Yeah.
So whereabouts was that in terms of the time he was doing that? Did he write it as Ziggy Stardust, or... Do you know how it worked?
No, I'm not sure.
But it appears on that Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust.
Yeah.
Very good. So obviously David Bowie is one of the most influential artists of all time. Amazing songwriter, amazing singer, and basically a music legend. Do you remember the first time you heard this song?
Again, it wasn't really that long ago, but like I've grown up with David Bowie. Like my mum and dad both love him.
Oh,
and
nice.
Well, my favourite David Bowie album's Hunky Dory.
All right, okay.
I love that album.
What tracks are on that one?
Like Life on Mars, Changes, that one.
The brilliant songs, yeah. Some of the best songs of all time.
That is my favourite David Bowie album. But I liked Ziggy Stardust, the song.
Yeah,
and then of Starman's on Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust as well.
Aye.
And I was in history, I think. I was studying for something. And I was like, I want to start listening to more full albums.
Yeah.
Because I don't listen.
Are you sort of like a greatest
I'm a
hits
playlist
kind of,
person.
Yeah. And like multiple songs from, say 10 artists on the one playlist type thing.
Yeah, my playlists are like 20 hours long. It's really bad.
Yeah.
But, so I was listening to it and I really, really liked it. And you know how like on Spotify you can like swipe up and see like the kind of meaning behind it?
Oh, yeah.
It was written for David Bowie's friend, the lead singer of T-Rex.
Oh,
the band
I did not know that.
T-Rex.
Oh, wow. That's
and I quite like them as well.
Fantastic. It's interesting what you're saying about a full album. Like, do you listen to it in order as well? Like track list?
I need to listen to it in order.
Because the artist has spent so much time going, right...
Doing it in that order
for I'm
that
going to start with this song, and then... But so many people just go, what are the singles from this album? Add them all into a random playlist of every other song. And like, but it's important to listen to an album in full in its entirety as it's meant to be written.
Because that's how like you find like some good songs. Because there'll be playlists where I don't like the main like single from it.
Yeah.
But it's like I really like one of like the B-sides or whatever.
Yeah, and someone like David Bowie's obviously got such a huge catalogue of music.
Oh, yeah.
I think he actually had one of his... He died in 2016. And do you remember? You might be quite young when that happened. Were you in like primary school when that?
Yeah, but I was brought up on David Bowie.
Yeah.
And like he did really inspire me a lot.
Wow.
So when he died, it was sad.
Yeah, it was a bad day for music. I remember it happening on the news because I was still in school at the time, and anybody that had an interest in not just music but art and culture
for sure.
were all quite impacted by that. And then I think he had an album came out like after he died. So he'd
like the demos and stuff. Was it
and that then went to number one. I think it's called Black Star or something like that. You might know better than me, but an amazing artist who's like done so much. Also did a song with Queen, Under Pressure.
I love Under Pressure.
Yeah, great song. And him and Freddie Mercury are two of probably the most influential artists ever to come out of British music scene.
Yeah.
Both sadly no longer with us, but it's amazing how the impact someone can have on your like he's the type of artist that can change the way you go and think about things. I was saying this to David on the last one. Even though you've never met him and he doesn't know who you are, he can change the way you go about your life, which is really inspiring.
Yeah.
So, is there anything particular about that song you've picked, Lady Stardust, that you like, or is it just?
I just like it. It's a good song.
It's just a good tune. Yeah. Sometimes that's all we need is just a melody that you like listening to. Is that one that your mum and dad told you to? No, so that's one you discovered from the other playlist,
albums. Yeah.
Have they ever seen like David Bowie live or anything like that before?
My dad did, I think.
Really? Wow.
My dad was a big concert guy. He went to loads of concerts. He saw David Bowie, I think.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he saw Pink Floyd as well.
Wow.
Because they're his favourite band. But he went to a lot of concerts.
Good
so did my
stuff.
mum.
Nice one.
My mum met Bono from U2.
Really? What? At a gig or just
No,
out and about?
she was staying in the same hotel as him. And she
Really?
went and got a
Wow.
photo with him.
Well, like, was you two playing a gig somewhere? Or
I think so.
And then.
And my mum
went
ran
and met
into Bono and she got a photo with him.
Oh, very good. He's the guy that he always wears sunglasses on stage, doesn't he? Bono is quite famous for that. Do you like U2 as well, or is it more
Not
just like not particularly? Aye.
My mum and dad have tried to like get me into them. I'm just like, nah, it's
not
for me.
Do they both play like instruments as well?
No, but my uncle plays drums and he plays guitar.
All right.
He plays loads of drums. He had bongo drums at a point as well. But he plays instruments.
Good stuff. So there was lots of music like in your house as you were growing up, and you were kind of surrounded by it.
Not really. There was just an old guitar that I would try and play.
Try and dabble with, yeah.
Yeah, didn't know how to play it because I was 7. But yeah.
Ah, good stuff.
So I never bothered with guitar lessons because I don't know, getting like lessons just makes it feel like I need to take it seriously.
Yeah,
and I don't want to take it serious. I just want it fun. And
a lot of people say that, like the minute you start getting, doing it like by the book, it can take some of the passion away from it. And a lot of the best musicians are self-taught. Like people like the like somebody like Noel Gallagher, for example, he'd never ever had a guitar lesson. He's written some of the most famous guitar tracks of all time that every guitar teacher will tell someone how to play. So there's a bit of an irony there, I suppose. But it just shows you don't need music lessons to achieve in music.
For sure.
And I think that's sometimes why classroom music is quite good, because in the music classroom, like, obviously we teach you music, but there's just a lot of it working it out on your own, because there's 20 of you in a class. And you've got to sit and experiment. And that can then ignite a wee passion for it as well. So your second song, Lady Stardust by David Bowie. Again, most people will have heard of David Bowie, but it's definitely worth exploring the kind of back catalogue. Like you said, listen to the albums in full.
Listen to the ones that aren't just the singles, because they're probably better.
Yeah, and often they're the ones that the artist likes.
Them, yeah,
and we're going to come to that actually in your next song by The Clash. That often record labels promote a single that because
and
they
they
know
don't
it's
like
going to
it.
sell, but actually the artist is not the kind of song that they like.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Sam Fender was talking about that recently, and that like a lot of his successful songs are not actually the most successful ones he's written. A lot of his are his B-sides and ones that everybody skips all the time. So it just shows you that go and appreciate what the artist has made in its entirety rather than just the sort of best of, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
So that leads us in nicely into your last song, which is a wee bit of a different kind of atmosphere to it. So that's Complete Control by The Clash. Now, how did you get into this song? Where did you hear this one?
I don't remember the first time I heard it, but my dad loved The Clash, and it was his older brother's favourite band.
All right, cool. So is that your uncle then?
Fraser, yeah, Uncle Fraser. His favourite band. He saw them actually when he was younger.
Wow, we saw them live?
I'm pretty sure he met them like before they were famous, like properly famous.
Really?
I don't know, I might be making that up. I feel like my dad did tell me that though.
That's cool.
Anyways, but yeah, my dad loves the Clash, and he loves like Complete Control.
Yeah.
And like I just remember being in my like living room with the song on. I mean, my dad would make me pogo to it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's also his ringtone.
Really? Is it still his ringtone now?
Yeah.
So if you phoned him up,
I would just hear from downstairs like the chorus for it, and I'm just like.
Do people still do that now? Have ringtones as songs? Yeah.
My dad does.
That's so cool.
It's so funny.
So that single came out in 1977.
Yeah.
So did he grow up listening to that when he was younger? Then is that?
I think so. I think it probably was through his brother. My dad never saw The Clash because it was just past, like just before his kind of time. But
yeah. It's fantastic. It's a really good song. It's one of the most probably one of the most famous punk songs of all time. And there's an important message about this as well. So the song comes about from kind of like what you were saying earlier about how record labels take over a lot of the ownership over an artist. So this was written about. So the Clash wrote it about their own record label. So I've got a kind of sort of quote that came from Joe Strummer, who's the guy that sang in The Clash, who I think actually is dead now, unfortunately. Sure, he died a while ago, but aye. So his quote says, so he's talking about like the record label boss, and he's like, he said he wanted complete control over the band, and that's where the title of the song comes from. And then him and the other guy in the band were just laughing at that, going like, "That's not happening. There's no way we're doing that." And they wrote the song "Complete Control" about like how the artist doesn't actually have any ownership over its own stuff.
It's
and it's
all
also
the record label.
Yeah, it's also talks about like the state of punk music in general and how a lot of mainstream music that's in the charts is not actually what people like. It's just influenced by money basically and the sad state of the way that the industry works. So yeah, it's a brilliant song that's one to go and listen to. Have you ever tried to play this one on the guitar or anything like that?
No, actually I've not even looked at it before.
Well, I think the thing about a lot of punk music is it's usually quite easy to play.
Yeah, not many of them know how to play their instruments.
Yeah.
So that's quite a common theme in punk music.
Yeah. So they start the band like just for the sake of it, then they learn how to go. Yeah. So a lot of time with punk singing as well, it's quite shouty. And
it's very like screamy.
It's aggressive and there's a lot of political message behind punk as well.
That's what I really like about The Clash, because punk as a whole, it's a movement.
It's a movement, yeah.
Not just like a music genre. It's like the messages behind the music and the messages that they spread and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, it's important. And they don't just write music for the sake of making it a nice song. Like you say, there's a message behind the actual music.
And it's usually political.
Yeah, it's very
even
political. Even
if they don't go around it like the right way. Because people used to wear like swastikas and stuff and irony.
Yeah,
but it was a bit weird.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing about the punk music scene is that it's very much trying to put a point across through the medium of music. And music's just a way of them expressing themselves. And it has led to a lot of a lot of change maybe in society for the good, which is obviously a good thing. Some more interesting facts about this song that have been googled. So it got to number 28 on the singles charts in the UK, which is quite impressive.
Yeah.
First song to get into top 30. Then the Rolling Stone make another appearance in the pod. So it was rated number 361 on the list of 500 greatest songs of all time. And also the album London Calling. Are you familiar with that album? Yeah. So it's got the singles also. There's a single called London Calling. It's quite a famous song. It was number 8 in the greatest albums of all time, which is the highest ever entry by a punk band.
I like that album a lot. Yeah,
well, that's got loads of songs on it that are successful singers. Some of the most famous Clash songs are like Should I Stay or Should I Go?
Yeah.
Which is in Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Have you seen Stranger Things before?
I've not, but I know it's in it.
Yeah, it's in Stranger Things. Rock the Casbah is also a famous song. And I Fought the Law as well. Is, again, as you can imagine from the title of the song, is political.
Yeah.
And it's talking about basically people over authority type movement, which is one that everybody should go and have a look into. And
For
just even like, not even listening to the song, but Googling the lyrics and trying to work out what they're talking about. And because of the delivery of punk music, often it's quite shouty and aggressive and you can't actually make out what they're saying.
Yeah.
So it's important to go and have a look at the actual...
Look at what they're saying and try and understand it.
Yeah.
Because then you might appreciate it more.
It would be good for like in English when you've got to like do like a what's that called in close reading where you've got to like analyse it. Do you ever do that in English in school?
Yeah,
like analyse song lyrics and stuff? That's what I meant.
I did an S3. We did like an added value unit thing and I got to pick 2 songs to
do you remember what ones they were?
Not really, no.
So you got to look at like what the lyrics meant and the imagery and stuff like that. That's really cool. Another thing that's quite an interesting thing before we move on to the next thing about this song is in March of last year, the people in the Clash that are still alive, there's not everybody in the original band, they gave permission to a Ukrainian punk band to rewrite the song. And then all the royalties, like they changed the lyrics it's not to that song, to London Calling. Right. They changed the lyrics up to it, and then they released it as a single, and all the proceeds went to the war effort again in the Russia-Ukraine conflict,
which
is
really good.
Quite nice.
Yeah.
And again, it shows that punk music values things like social justice and equality.
Yeah, for sure.
And very much people against oppression type thing.
Yeah.
So 3 really good songs, and that one in particular you've chosen has got a great message behind it that everyone should go and have a listen to. So so that's Mirin's 3 songs to go and have a listen to. And just before we finish off, we'll have a wee chat about the school show. So this is like a wee bit of a throwback to a bit of nostalgia. So what do you remember about doing that then? How did you get involved with it in the first place? Did someone ask you to do it? Or
no, it was Connie and Amy were like, yeah, we're going to do a school show. And I was like, I'll audition it. Why not? It'll be fun. And because I don't really have any acting experience. I did sing, but like not like in front of people because that's awkward and weird. But yeah, I don't know. You
just fancy trying it because I remember quite well. Like I was up in Mr. Ness's room where everybody had to come in and do their audition.
That was terrifying.
Yeah, and it was me and the other teachers like in the panel. And we didn't really know you. We always knew you were good at music because you did Nat 5 or whatever. But see, when you first sang, it was like a jaw to the floor moment. Like, wow, what a voice! And the whole character and everything that you did for Dodger was just. It was amazing. And did you gain quite a lot of confidence out of doing that?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I also made loads of friends doing it.
Yeah.
There's so many people that's like, I would never have spoke to you if I didn't do that show. Yeah. And like, I'm still friends with them now.
It's great for people in all year groups as well because the show takes people from first year right through to 6th year.
Yeah, like one of the 6th years last year that's left now, I'm going out with them after this.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
For fun.
That's fantastic. So. Have you still got like a group chat with all the people that were in the show? Did you
We've
have
got
that at the time?
We have a group chat, we don't use it.
Yeah, is it a dead one? You need to like reignite it with something.
Yeah.
Well, maybe one day you might have a school show reunion with like when you're all away 5 years down the line or something like that.
Yeah.
Do you think? Well, unfortunately, you'll miss the next because you'll get the
next show.
There's a show,
maybe a showcase next year.
Yeah. So like when you're in 6th year.
6th year.
Oh right, so you might get a chance to have one more go at it.
Hopefully.
And dust off the theatre kind of thing again. Yeah. Well, I'm sure you'd be great at it. So thank you very much for your time, Mirin. I'll not keep you any longer. It was great chatting through your top 3 songs. As always, the link will be in the bio for Mirin's songs. And definitely go and have a listen to them. And as Mirin said, don't just listen to the song on its own. If you're listening to the David Bowie song, look at the full album. Spotify is an absolute gift for doing that as well.
And they've removed the thing where they shuffle it automatically, so you need
I've
to listen
seen
to
that,
it in
yeah.
order.
Was that not
It's
Adele or
great.
something like that? That they
Yeah.
get really angry because
It annoys
It just-
me because
yeah.
there's sometimes in an album there's two songs that flow perfectly into each other,
Yeah.
and you don't understand that until you've listened to
Yeah,
them, and
yeah,
it's
yeah.
so good.
aye, listen to the albums in the full and support bands. Go to gigs like you're
Go
saying.
to gigs.
Because for the
Go to little gigs, like
yeah,
even if
exactly.
you don't know who the bands are, just go for supporting the artists
100%
and all that.
buy merch as well.
Yes, if you
Um,
can. Merch
and-
is expensive, but
Yeah,
buy
but
it.
for a band of people trying to make it, like,
Yeah.
don't go and buy Beyonce's merch. Go and buy
Yeah.
the merch of someone that's trying to make a career out of it and is
Oh,
still.
and don't buy the fake merch outside because
Exactly.
that's
die.
dumb.
Go to gigs and listen to music. It's amazing for your mental well-being and just everything, really.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mirin, and we'll
Thank
see you
you.
again next time.
Yes.